More reaction on Syria now from Michelle Chossudovsky from the Centre for Research on Globalization, who takes a special interest in the Middle East. Michelle, the US Defense Secretary Leon Panetta is thought to be reassuring Mideast allies that Assad will fall. Is this a hint that the US is getting ready to answer the rebels' call for help?
Well, I think the US Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has reiterated Washington's threat of military intervention, accusing the Syrian government forces of waging what he describes as a tragic attack on their own people, quote unquote. And he has also vowed not only to unseat the Syrian president, but also, I mean, in his own words, he points to getting rid of Bashar al-Assad, nail in Assad's own coffin. These are strong words. I think the question that we have to ask at this juncture, inasmuch as the Western military alliance is contemplating various military interventions, which could include both naval and air operations in support of these alleged opposition rebel forces. In fact, they are the foot soldiers of the US-NATO military alliance. But they are now seeing that their self-proclaimed Free Syrian Army is running into difficulties, and they are naval, as well as there's the deployment of naval power, which is contemplated at some undefined date later this summer.
So Assad's days are numbered then. He will be definitely going then?
Well, these are the words of Leon Panetta. The question is, who has blood on his hands? I would say Leon Panetta has blood on his hands, because the evidence is unequivocal. We recall that in the wake of the United Nations Security Council face-off with Russia and China, Moscow intimated that the US-led coalition was supporting these terrorist attacks committed by the Free Syrian Army and also Al-Qaeda-affiliated entities. Now, we've got ample evidence that the government is not responsible for these crimes against humanity and atrocities, but in effect, the Free Syrian Army, which is supported, financed by the United States, NATO, the allies of the Gulf, Persian Gulf, etc., that the Free Syrian Army unequivocally is involved in killing innocent civilians and then blaming the government for the crimes that they themselves have committed. And we've got lots of material on that. And also, the question is, who is responsible for these killings?
Well, that's a good point, isn't it? Because also all this violence and chaos has stirred up the sectarian tensions, and whether Assad goes, whether he's toppled with that external force in the near future, that's not going to solve the sectarian tensions that have now raised to the surface, will it?
Well, you know, sectarian violence is being triggered through covert intelligence and military operations, which are led by United States, NATO, with the participation of Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Israel is in fact also supporting Salafist fighters. All this is well documented. Even the Arab League Observer Mission report, which was initially commissioned by the Arab League at Washington's behest, confirms that the Free Syrian Army, supported directly by Washington, is committing the atrocities. And not surprisingly, that Arab League Observer Mission report was subsequently shelved because it actually revealed the forbidden truth, namely that the US NATO-sponsored rebels, rather than the government, were behind the massacres. And the Vatican has also come up and has confirmed that the Western-backed opposition forces, rather than the Al-Assad government, are responsible for countless atrocities.
I just want to quickly ask you about Turkey's involvement here, Turkey's interest. Reports are surfacing that the Turkish army has started to closely monitor weather conditions there in Syria, leading to speculation they could possibly be preparing to launch a strike. How likely is that, and what would they hope to achieve by that?
Well, Turkey is a member of NATO. It's a heavyweight in NATO. It is already encroaching on the Syria's northern border. It is providing safe havens to the rebels. It has training camps. It's collaborating with the Qataris and the Saudis. It is supporting the Muslim Brotherhood, which Muslim Brotherhood fighters out of Turkey. So these indications should, of course, be taken very seriously. But I should mention there's another dimension to that, is the support provided not by Turkey but by Israel to the Kurdish separatist movements in northern Syria, which in fact are also supported by the North Iraqi Kurdish government, which essentially points to secession. In other words, the fracturing of Syria into several small states. That is one of the scenarios which the Israelis are also supporting.
Michel, really interesting to hear your perspective on all of these developments there in Syria. Thanks for your thoughts. Michel Chossudovsky from the Center for Research and Globalization, live there in Montreal.
Thank you very much.